What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Men's Physique Show. Let's go. I got my boy Phil Naselli. He's out in Sicily, Italy right now, hanging out. You know, Mamma Mia, having spaghetti, pizzeria, you know, all that good stuff. Phil Naselli, Avon, the Australian voice of Men's Physique. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Phil.
Buongiorno, everyone.
Our boy out in Thailand right now, island hopping. You know, rocking the cool-ass shades right there. The man himself, the heartbeat of Men's Physique. You know him. We call him McGravy. Always wavy. Never, ever lazy. Hart McGrath. Let's go, y'all.
Let's go.
Come on, boys. Let's go. I'm excited about this one.
And it's your boy, the Gaffer, out of Hotlanta. Happy to be here. And, yo, we got a great Miami Pro Show about to come up. Shout out to Giovanni, the promoter, who's putting that on. Boys, how you doing? How's the past couple of days been?
I want to know how Phil's doing. Phil, fill the horde in on how Europe has been over the last few days. What's been going on?
Bro, I think I'm coming home with third degree sunburns, high blood pressure and diabetes the way that I'm going. All I've been having is sweets every single morning, and a coffee addiction, I should say. Because all I'm having is coffee and sweets over here in Europe, but it's absolutely beautiful. The weather's showed up today, which is nice. Got a bit of a tan on me. I'm loving things over here. How's it over there in Thailand?
No complaints over here. Thailand is a special place. I saw something today. It said, when you want to travel, go every place else but Thailand, because if you go to Thailand first, you're going to stay there for a long time.
I believe it.
I feel that,
That's facts. Gaffer, how's Atlanta going? Starting to get warm over there or what?
Bro, it's starting to get Johnny Blaze out here. It is hot. My grass is like needing love. It's supposed to be a thunderstorm tonight. Hopefully it is. Normally I don't wish for stuff like that, but the way my grass needs it, it's starting to get a little pathetic. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But Atlanta's great. Traffic sucks as always. Atlanta's known for that, and now it's starting to get hot as balls. But tomorrow, my youngest graduates from middle school, so I'm excited about that. So, you know, the fam, we're all going to be there, and it's going to be dope.
Nice.
That sounds like a special time. The youngest with the hair, with all the hair?
Oh, yeah.
He's hella tall.
Yo, he's tall as hell. I know. He's a young kid, but tall as hell.
I thought he was like a junior in high school for some reason.
Right. I got tall boys. Good. Yeah.
What a blessing. I can't wait till I have tall boys. I'm going to try tonight. But on that, boys, we have the 2026 Miami Pro. It's going down this weekend. Always a super exciting show. Who doesn't want to be in Miami competing? Hopefully you're playing Physique League this week. You see the favorite, Francisco Martinez out of Paraguay. Aleem, tell them why for this week's Physique League and for the Miami Pro, Francisco Martinez is the favorite.
Well, if you look at everybody who was at the Pittsburgh Pro, the top 5 guys who came before him, he plays 6. So Francisco literally plays 6. He's already qualified for the O. If you look at and he's qualified for the O because he won 2 shows, by the way. So if you look at this guy, he came in 6th place. The 5 guys in front of him won't be at this show. And the only ones who appear to be able to beat Francisco right now are your top 8, 9 Olympians right now, right? That from last year. Other than that, minus Chiron, because he wasn't in the O last year, but minus the guys who actually beat him. We're talking Edvan Palmera, Ali Bilal, Chiron Holden, Vitor Chavez, the Vitorious B.I.G., and the resume himself, Aaron Banks. Those are the only guys to beat this guy. They're not going to be in the show. And he's got another week in order to get even more conditioned than he's already conditioned. I mean, this guy is freaking peeled, bro. So he's making improvements to his back shot. He's making improvements to his feet positioning in the back shot. The tan is going to be a little bit darker. This guy has all the tools, and that's why he's the favorite right now. I mean, a week apart, how are you going to drop off that much? Probably not. So I don't think that there's anybody. Victor Ramirez is the only one who didn't compete at the Pittsburgh Pro that could be a threat to him right now. But even Victor, I don't think is going to be able to topple the nightmare himself, Francisco Martinez. What do you think, Phil? Sorry, buddy.
I think I know he's a threat, or he's not a threat. He's going into this one as the favorite, but I think there's one man who, in my eyes, could get the redemption that he's been looking for, by the name of Diogo Basaglia. Now, we need to remember Diego pushed Francisco at the Atlantic Coast Pro last year. That's one of the shows that Francisco took home. But this guy's made some significant improvements to the physique. I mean, he's got the look. Looking at him, I've called him the Brazilian Hercules for good reason. If you look at him with the long, luscious hair, he's got the men's physique look, but he's got the shape. He's a big guy as well. He's got the density in the back as well. He's got the conditioning in the back as well. So if there's one man who I think could push Francisco Martinez this weekend, it's the man that we're looking at on the screen right now. Hart, what do you think?
It's a tough week. I mean, like we just spoke about, Francisco Martinez has been competing more than Diogo or Bassa. I like how you said it, the Brazilian Hercules. So this is going. I believe we're going to see a more fresh physique coming out of Bassa and Cuts. Correct? I think Cuts also coaches Bassa down in Brazil. And just by the updates that we're getting from Bassa, this is a shape that I think can rival Francisco. This is another aesthetic guy that's hopping on stage with Francisco. So if Francisco doesn't beat it or bring that 100%, I think Diogo Bassa can come in here and take him. I didn't even think about him pushing Francisco back in the day when he won that show, just right behind Bassa or right in front of Bassa. But this is definitely a guy that can do it. Freaky, has the look, very marketable dude. He's going to come in shredded. On that note, Gaffa, let's do this live. Let's go to Physique League. Give me your top three and why. I want them in specific order. Type it on your phone. Type it on your computer. I'm going to refresh the actual page, and I want for the horde, tell us why you have who you have and explain why you have that. Phil, get your top three ready. I'll do the same.
I was going to say, while Gaffer's doing that, while he's writing in his predictions, guys, the Physique League post is now live. If you haven't put your predictions in, head to this post that you see on screen, the post that the Gaffer is on right now. The lineup is there. All the athletes are there. We need your vote before deadline day, which is Friday. What time is it, Heart Friday?
Yep, Friday, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. What you need to do, exact order, first, second, and third. It needs to be in the correct order. We want you as one of the first because this week we actually have a prize pack on the line for the person who registers their vote in first. It is a metabolic prize pack. It is 2 of their supplements. It is the health and liver support as well as the kidney support. So guys, if you want to be in the running to win one of each of those products, you got to be the first one in. You got to have the correct order, first, second, and third, because once the deadline comes around, once we lock out, all votes are then closed.
Hey, and on metabolic, I just want to say, man, this stuff is awesome, bro. Like, I feel my energy's gone up for sure. Again, my pee is like more yellow than it's been before in the past. And, of course, I'm getting my water in and all that. But this stuff is incredible. I love it. I wonder if people with like kidney issues and challenges, we need to ask the doc about this, but I wonder if, people with kidney issues and so forth, this helps to like reverse some of the challenges that they're having, kidney stones and things of that nature. I'm thinking because this stuff is really impressive. Like it really, really works. And I take 4 a day right now, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening per, and it's been doing great. And we're about to get back on the wagon again soon and get a little bit more size on. So I'm gonna really, really stay close to this metabolic stuff so that we can have an easy coast. The blood levels and all my levels can look right when I get them done, get them checked. I go for my blood work on Friday, and then we're going to start and with those supplements again and start beefing up. So I'm excited to see how this all turns out, man. This stuff has been great so far.
Give us those predictions, Gaffer. Have you locked them in yet?
I locked them in. If you do the update, I'm right there at the top, ready to rock.
Okay, let's see it, ladies and gentlemen. The Gaffa's top 3 in exact order for this week's Physique League. We're looking for the Gaffa. There it is. Francisco Martinez in first. Bassa, the Brazilian Hercules, in second. And Victor Ramirez in third. Okay, you kind of briefly explained Francisco Gaffa, but go into 2 and 3 in more detail.
Yeah, I go with Bassa because Bassa has a very streamlined physique. He's got a flow to his physique. He's got, lower lat insertion similar to Francisco, not as dense, not as thick, but similar style. Isai Kesek, you see it with him. B. Henny. So he's got that beautiful lower lat insertion. He's got a look. He screams men's physique all day. And I'm excited to see the improvements that he's made to the back, to the upper chest, and see where he comes in at. Victor Ramirez, I love his physique. I think he comes in always chiseled. I mean, it's your classic Victor Martinez look that he always comes with. He's going to be conditioned out of the ass, but he's got a little bit more of a boxier waist, and he does that Superman pose. So phenomenal look for sure. I just think that when you compare Victor with Bassa, especially with Francisco probably coming in, assuming he comes in at first, you got two taller guys. Victor Ramirez I think he's very muscular, but he's got the flow is a little boxier than the other two guys. So it'll be interesting to see how they judge. I know that Tyler Manning is going to be head judge there, so it'll be interesting to see how he kind of views these guys. Go ahead, Hart.
Tough week for Physique League. I mean, all these weeks I feel like are just so up in there. You never know how these judges are going to go. So I'll do this live. You guys will be able to see it. I got first place. I got Francisco. I mean, let's be real. This is a guy who's right behind the best in the world. This is a guy who has a chance to place at this year's Mr. Olympia, his first time going, who we've seen him beat, and just the look that we've seen. I hope he comes into the Mr. Olympia fresh, but as far as this show, I don't think anyone's going to beat him, and I'm going to have my money on Francisco and his coach bringing the 100% package. Man, Bassa looks good. Bassa is a look that could be right behind him. So again, I think I'm going to go Bassa as well. I think the judges, if they're going to move Francisco to first or favor that look, they might as well favor another look that is just like it. Beautiful look. Like you said, Aleem, it is men's physique all day long when you look at Bassa. Then third place, it's tough. I'm looking at the lineup. We'll talk about some dark horses coming in here. Of course, Drew Cullen is in the back of my mind when I think about this. But just that Superman that we just saw from Ramirez, he reminds me of like the bull. I see him being the Emerson Costa, the bull of this week's show. So I think he's going to surpass anyone else. In third place, I have Ramirez. Phil, how about yourself?
Juan Gochez is in there too.
Oh, Juan Gochez. We'll talk about him as well. It's another tough one.
It was hard for me, bro. Yeah.
Fuck,
and McSpadden is in this too. Wow.
Gosh.
I'm going to go a little different to you boys. I've just submitted it now.
Okay.
Because
shake it up, baby.
What fun is it if everyone's got the same order, right? So I'm gonna change things up a little bit. Let me know when I've just sent it through if you are.
Let's see. Phil Naselli, Avomp has sent his top 3 for Physique League. Phil, you can make some money next year. You get this right. You might as well be the outcast because every time everyone follows everyone else, everyone gets it wrong. So you should probably bet what you're betting. Let's see. Phil Naselli, there he is right beneath Aleem Bolton. He has, Diogo Basaglia
switched
first.
It up. Look at you. Woo.
The Nightmare 2. And Drew in third. Break all of this down. I'm curious why you have this.
All right. So Bassa number 1. If there is one man who had quite a good record last year, it's Diego. He came second to Andre Diu at Legion. He lost to Francisco Martinez at the Atlantic Coast. Obviously the Olympia is a completely different ball game, but when you look at the regular shows, this guy can stand toe to toe with a lot of the big dogs. In terms of him losing the Legion, obviously Andre Diu has a lot of muscle, streamlined physique. That's his show. In regards to Bassa, the improvements that he's made over the last 12 months are incredible. If we look at the updates from the Atlantic Coast show in comparison to the show, in comparison to this week, he's a lot sharper in the front. He's got a lot more size in the back. Now, if you look at this show, the obliques just weren't there. The obliques were missing. When you look at his updates now, the obliques are detailed, they're etched. When you fill him in, obviously he's a little bit flatter now, but even when he is flat, he is still quite full. One thing about Cisco last week was I feel like he wasn't as filled as what he needed to be. He missed the mark. If Cisco isn't as full as what we saw of him at the East Coast Pro and at the Atlantic Coast Pro, Cisco then leaves the door open for someone like Bassa to take that spot. So that's why I'm picking Bassa in as number one. Even the improvements in the back, like yes, we know Francisco's got density, but if he misses the mark in terms of opening up, something that he's been lacking the last couple of weeks, and an experienced Bassa, is on that stage side by side with him, and he does fully open up, and he will then expose Francisco where Cisco doesn't have the weaknesses, but purely by the way that he poses, an experienced Bassa will, in my opinion, will overtake him and take that spot. In terms of the second place, Francisco Martinez, like you said, Hart, Francisco's done a couple of shows already. I think this is show number 3. Like you said again earlier, the more shows that these athletes do, the worse their physique becomes. Now, I don't think Francisco is going to bring a terrible physique, but we know, historically speaking, the more peaks these guys do, they're going to get worse and worse and worse. So that's why I've moved Francisco down into number 2. And then on the other side, number 3, Drew Cullen. Drew Cullen, historically speaking as well, has gotten better and better and better with every show that he does. His first show was last week, obviously at what was the name of the show again? I've just gone. Memphis. That, in my eyes, was the trial peak that him and Cuts needed. They want to see the variables. They want to see the data. They want to see how the body responds. This is improved Drew from 2025. He's sharper from the front. He's got that marketable look. He's got the flow. He knows how to pose. He's detailed in the midsection. Drew's downfall has always been the back. Now, obviously, needs to bring the back up. He has made improvements to the back. As you can see here, the lower back wasn't as detailed as someone as Francisco. But he has, in my eyes, he's made enough improvements in the last couple of months to sneak in that third position. And like I said, with the data that him and Cuts have been able to collect in the last 7 days alone, they'll be able to implement that this weekend. And we're going to see a much improved Drew Cullen from what we saw at Memphis.
Drew always comes with some dope-ass shorts, too, so... Yeah, he knows how to make sure that he controls his controllables and has that look, that marketable look. I think that you said something that was interesting. You said, guys who continue to go on tend to start to fade. Their bodies start to give out. And I think there's a point where it increases and gets better. So I think like your first show, you're trying to get some data, right? And you want to win. You want to peak. But... a lot of guys miss it. They miss that first show. I think by your second, third show, I think that's a lot of times when you see guys at their very best. And then you start to see the dip, certainly by like the fifth, sixth show. We saw it with Amit Agri. We've seen it before with who else was running the gauntlet just recently. Even Emil Walker.
Vitor a little bit. Vitor.
Vitor Chavez. Yep. So I mean, it's just it happens, and your body can only be this lean for so long and get a little bit of normal food, if you will, for a day, and then it's right back into serious prep. It's challenging, and it also wears on you mentally, which then increases your stress levels, which then impacts your body because cortisol is part of it. But I agree with you. I think that over a period of time, I don't think Francisco's there yet where he's a young guy. I don't think his body's going to give out on the third show. I think if this was his fifth show, I would agree with you. But I think he's going to be, look at this. Like, this guy is grainy. To be this young and be this grainy is really insane. Like you don't see a 20-something-year-old with, mature muscle like this, like a 36 or 38-year-old on a physique like this. So, he's doing all the right things, man. I really like, and his lower lats are freaking insane. Like, they're obnoxious. His lower lats look like literally if you were to see a wombat in a cave and it spread its wings, and you see how like thin and wide the wombat is. Now put some density on that, and that's his lats right there. This guy could fly around and scare the hell out of you, in a cave. So I just like his look. I like he's got that marketable look that we always talk about, and and vascularity at the wazoo. I like his physique. I like the posing. Change that tempo a little bit. He controls the tempo, comes with the tan, opens up those lats, spreads the legs a little bit more. In the face to curtain shot, pause, and he's going to be killing it. All right. So that's all I have to say to that. What do you think, guys?
I think he's spot on. Phil, what do you think about Francisco being a younger athlete? I think younger guys have the ability to maybe stay in the heat a little bit longer than these older guys do. What do you think about that?
No, I completely agree with what you're saying. Yes, it's still early days with Francisco. The only thing that concerns me is just what he's been doing over the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's not easy on the body. Flying from Paraguay to the States and then flying from Memphis to Pittsburgh to Miami, plus all the peaks in between. There's no doubt in my mind, like, this guy is going to come in conditioned. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just looking at this shot alone, like, this guy always comes in dialed. He does control his variables, like you said, but there are a lot of variables at play. And when you've got an athlete, and this is my opinion, when you've got an athlete that's just traveling from Brazil to Memphis after taking X amount of weeks off, doing his first show after the Atlantic Coast Pro, I think was his last show. So this guy's been off for a long period of time. He's fresh. In comparison to Cisco, who's done a lot of traveling and a lot of peaks in the last couple of weeks, I still think he's going to bring the heat. I just think it's going to be a very, very tough battle in my eyes.
I like it.
I love that. I love that. Someone that we didn't talk about, who we definitely need to talk about, out of Colombia. Someone say his name for me.
Are we talking about Gochez?
I'm talking about Gochez. Juan. Manuel Gochez. You cannot forget about this guy. Man, when he comes in tight, when he comes in shredded, it's such a unique physique. Aleem had the chance, Horde, to meet Gochez in person. Aleem says he has the best calves in the division. I think he's 100% right. Gochez finished pretty well, decently well last show in Memphis, right? Didn't do too bad here. Let's see.
He came in
fourth place.
Fourth place, bro.
Fourth, yeah.
And Vitor won't be there, and Emerson's not going to be there. He beat Drew Colin, so Gochez could be another guy in that top three. I'll throw it over to you first, Gaffo. What do you think of Juan Manuel Gochez coming into the Miami Pro? I think Miami's going to like this physique.
Yeah, for sure. He's got that Latin flavor to him that just resonates so well down in Miami for obvious reasons. He's got a wide back. He's got density for sure. He knows how to pose. He's worked on the posing. Gochez used to do the handlebar back pose. Now he brings his arms down, shows off the obliques. Conditioning has been the only Achilles heel for him. Full chest, bubbly, reminds me a lot of Chiron Holden with the chest and the shoulders. Has a very flowy, beautiful, wide clavicle shape to him. Humble guy, bro. Like, he loves our show. He loves what we do. We got to get him on. His English is really good. Even if it wasn't as we have in the past, he'd still be a guy we'd have to get on the show. Great calves, like you said, Hart, and just honorable. Saw me at the Arnold, Ohio. Came right on up. Shouted me out, Gaffer, what's going on? Took pics. Saw me at Memphis, Charlotte. Excuse me. Saw me again at Charlotte Pro. He wasn't in that show, but a competitor I think he's coaching or whatever was in the show. Came up, showed Matt love, and then showed love again at Memphis. I mean, this guy is super cool, super honorable, incredible physique, and he just wants to keep improving and keep evolving. So you got to love guys like that. That's what the game is all about.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of Gochez, like, obviously he's got an incredible physique. The one thing, like you said, Gaffer, is that conditioning. Now, there's no doubt in my mind this guy is conditioned, but he's missing a certain level of dryness. Now, when you look at Francisco, when you look at Basa, when you look at Drew, when you look at someone like Victor Ramirez, they're all conditioned, but they've got that next level dryness to them, especially around the midsection, in the obliques as well. That's something that Gochez is missing. And it might be a case of just spending more time in a prep and digging a little bit deeper and a little bit harder. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure he is doing exactly those two things. But it's just that next level dryness that I feel like he's missing. In terms of those calves, they're not even calves. They're cows, mate. They're huge. Probably some of the biggest calves in the men's physique division, that's for sure. But yeah, the one thing with Gochez, and as much as I hate to say this, he's just very hot and cold. He can be first call out, and in week 2, he's in like second or third call out. There's no consistency with Gochez. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish he was a guy that was always regularly in that first call out, week in, week out. But I think it just comes down to the conditioning more than anything. So hopefully he's been able to bring it in. Fingers crossed he's able to bring it in, but I feel like he could be a dark horse this weekend. Hart, what do you think?
I agree with you guys. The fact that he comes in as the least conditioned guy and he still places so well at some of these shows just tells you, man, what would happen if he brought in that, if he ever could, but if he could bring in that Francisco Martinez level conditioning, I think it'd be a sight to be seen. That third place is not out of the question for Juan Manuel Gochez out of Colombia. The guy is very, very talented, very, very talented. Hopefully comes in condition and pushes these other guys. Avon, I'll throw this first one over to you. There's also another name named Tomas Godo, who a lot of people are talking about. And if you have been following the channel Horde a little bit, if you're a new subscriber, we've talked about Tomas Godo before. I don't know if he still has it in his bio. I think he took it out, but he just still has the pinned post of us talking about. He is the Hungarian Ryan Terry, and the Hungarian Ryan Terry is doing the Miami Pro, and we're a few days out. What do you think, Avomp? Does he have a chance of getting in the top 3?
Tomas is actually my dark horse, to be honest with you, because we've said this before. If the men's physique world at the moment is favoring Ryan Terry's look, this guy is going to be the next closest thing. I know we've got Dilson and we've got, who is the Brazilian Ryan Terry. We've got Tomas, who's the Hungarian Ryan Terry. He's got that middle separation in that midsection. He's coming conditioned. He's got a nice streamlined physique. He can hit that Superman pose very, very nicely. The only downside to Tomas is in the back. I think he just needs a little bit more size, a little bit more density, a little bit more width in that back shot. I know he does watch our show religiously. If he does watch this episode, one thing that I think needs to be tweaked is just the posing in the front shot. Now, like if you can see his feet positioning, he has that trailing foot like really angled, as well as the front foot, which is also angled. We all know that in terms of hitting that front pose, you want to have one of those feet at 90 degrees and the other foot, facing the judges. I also don't like when athletes are kind of on their toes. I prefer their front foot to be planted on the floor. Just allows you to control and be a little bit more balanced, especially if you're trying to angle your hips, whatnot. But, this guy has a really, really good physique. Like I said, he is conditioned. Like I said, in terms of that next level dryness, he's bringing that dryness, that's for sure. He's my dark horse for the weekend. Fingers crossed he brings all the variables and does what needs to do. And, it's flat here. So once he feels out, it's going to be a sight to see. But Gaffer, you're looking at Tomas right now. What's your thoughts on him?
I agree with everything you said. I think, you said it perfectly. The back is where he has, in terms of a body part, that's where he's lacking, is the back, in my humble opinion. I think the upper chest can come up also. He's got a good chest for sure. But when you see him next to the other guys that are going to be on stage, their chest is just a lot fuller. Gochez, Francisco, Victor. Like these guys, they have full chest. And, if you're going to be in that top tier, it's who shows up. These guys are showing up and we know that they show out. So he's going to have to improve that. And then the stance, you want to have an X frame. He's got kind of like this P frame, almost like a script, like, it's angling this way. It's not perfectly X. It's kind of coming off on the side, diagonal almost. I'd like to really see, to your point, the feet corrected in that front pose. And I think that, either stand straight on with the toes pointed straight at the judges, or a little bit angled if you're going to squeeze those quads to get the teardrop in that pose, if you want to show off those wheels, which I don't think he's got the Ryan Terry wheels just yet. I think that there's some improvement to be made there to do a Superman pose. Again, Superman pose, you got to be top to bottom on point with that pose, because that pose, you see everything. There's no hiding. You have to have a small waist, wide clavicle, full chest, arms streamlined, pop in the shoulders with the cap, dense and thick quads, nice calves. You have to be glazed properly even in the shins. You have to be glazed there. I mean, you really got to have that pop to your physique in order to pull off that pose. Other than that, I would suggest doing the one hand on hip and being able to hide some of the weaknesses, if you will, a little bit. But with that said, man, I think that this guy has a lot of upside to him, clearly, and I agree. He's got a look to him. He's got handsome dude, really good conditioning for sure. If he controls the controllables, he can certainly move up. My dark horse, though, someone similar in terms of some of the strengths and the weaknesses is Clarence McSpadden. Clarence McSpadden, to me, has a great front shot. He comes in condition and chiseled all the time. He's bringing up the back, little derailed, as we've spoken about before on the show, where he was in that car accident and it kind of put him behind for a few months. But this guy, brings it, man. He's won several shows before. He's been in the Arnold a few times, and he's placed really, really well. So this is, again, a guy who I really think, with proper improvements to the back, it's going to continuously move up as the year progresses and we get closer to the O. But he's going to be one of my dark horses for sure.
Of that heart, who's your dark horse?
I mean, it's so funny. We say dark horse, and I think there's a lot of definitions of a dark horse. We say dark horse, we say Drew, we say dark horse, we say Clarence, and I would agree with you. I think all those guys, if we have a loose definition on what dark horse means, I think those are all the guys that could slip in the top three for sure. The Gochez, the Collins, the McSpaddens, the Godo, out of Hungary. I'm looking at the list. If I'm being honest with you guys, that's all I really have, unless someone comes out of nowhere. Guys, we've been looking at Raj Kumar Paswan out of India for the last few hours. When we go on his Instagram, unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's in competition shape, unless these videos that he is putting out onto Instagram are from a long time ago. I mean, it says he posted this 2 hours ago, but again, was this video taken a few weeks ago? And he's trying to be a sleeper. When you go into his story, he's just reposting stuff. And the reason we're talking about Raul is because this guy brings it. This guy has just a fantastic look coming out of India. One of the best backs in India. Every time the Men's Physique show, every time we make a reel about Raul, we always talk about his back, and the thing just goes viral. So we hope he's doing okay. Phil, you have a little bit of intel on Raul. Maybe some things are happening in the background. What do you know?
Yeah, I remember a couple of months back, Raul was a late exclusion from one of the shows. I can't remember exactly what show it was, but I remember his coach uploading a carousel reel just explaining that he was dealing with some health issues at the time. Now, I know he was dealing with candida, which is a intestinal bacteria, which then spread to his mouth. It turned his tongue black, or there was some discoloration of his tongue. Now, that's a clear sign that your immune system is fighting against you. Now, I can't remember exactly how many months ago it was. It could have been 2 or 3 months ago. But if he was dealing with a stomach infection or a stomach issue, for you to push through a prep, it would have been quite difficult. Now, he's obviously taking some time off. Now, that's where my head is right now. Has he recovered from that fully and then gave himself enough time to get back into a prep and then really dial things in? Because like you said, Hart, like there's no updates of Raul about, this weekend show, let alone him doing a prep or getting back into a prep. On the flip side, we know that a lot of athletes are going MIA now. With the whole point system and with the the strategic plays that a lot of athletes are playing, many athletes are showing their cards. Now, could this be a play by Raul? Does he not want to show his cards? Does he not want to show other athletes that are also competing in these shows what his physique looks like? Is he keeping it a secret from us as well? Like, does he not want us to talk about him? Who knows? If this guy comes out of nowhere and jumps on that stage this weekend and has an incredible physique, and this guy is a guy that we can't sleep on if he does show in and show out with a package just like this one right here. So fingers crossed he is doing the show. I would love to see Raul back on stage. I'm sure a lot of Indian fans around the world would love to see Raul back on stage. We know he's one of the best athletes coming out of that country. But if he jumps into this show, I mean, it's not going to be a shock because we all know how good of an athlete he is. But if he's kept it under wraps and he shows this impressive, incredible package, it'll be a sight to see. Gaffer, what do you think?
Yeah, I love this guy's physique. The back specifically, he has one of the best backs to Hart's point and your point coming out of India. The guy is dense. And sorry about that, guys. I got lawn stuff going on out there. But his back is crazy. And I think that he showcases it really well as well. Like, that's the other thing. Some guys have certain body parts, but they don't know how to showcase it well. And he's one of those athletes that when he goes into that back pose, really knows how to get the crowd revved up and get them excited as he opens up, and he knows how to control his lats and bring the lats so that they really, really stand out a lot. I just like it. To me, that's one of his weaker shows that he's done because his back has looked even more detailed, even more dialed in the past. So, I mean, again, great athlete. Hope that what we were seeing in terms of, look at that. That's special. That's special right there. Hopefully what we saw in the post with the Superman shirt is just something that is from a while ago, because if he's coming and you can't even see the striations in his forearms, you don't see the definition in his forearms, he doesn't look as grainy and as dense as you would like to see only a couple of days out from a show. That's typically a bad sign if that's really what he looks like. Hopefully that was from like a month or two ago. Yeah, just real quick, in terms of Miami Pro, they've got a lot going on. Shout out again to Giovanni, the promoter out there. For those who don't know, the Miami Pro is like the Pittsburgh Pro, it's like the Olympia, it's like the Arnold. Actually, they were doing this whole expo thing before the Pittsburgh Pro did. And Tyler, being one of the head judges, had an opportunity to see how they do it in Miami and was like, you know what? I want to incorporate that and throw that into Pittsburgh. And it's been a success. So, you look at the Miami Pro, they've got, of course, bodybuilding shows. They've got Grid, which is kind of like CrossFit that they're doing. They got boxing. So there'll be boxing matches in another in another area. There's powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, which is going to be dope. Calisthenics. A fashion summit where you're going to see people walking runway kind of thing, kickboxing, pillow fighting, arm wrestling, CrossFit, high rocks. And then they've got tons of vendors. They even have knights fighting in the ring, medieval style, with swords and all sorts of like medieval weapons and whatnot, and fully armored. So this is a special show. It's really dope. I did it last year along with my younger brother. It was his amateur debut, and I think my 7th or 8th pro show. Well done. It's phenomenally put together. Huge area. You want to get your tickets early because you get to save $10 for those who are going. And on with it. I love the colors that they use too. Can't ever go wrong with those Miami colors, boys.
I'm excited to see the pillow fighting. Here we go. Show me this thing. This is like a cross between box. This is like kung fu. This guy's swinging that pillow like it's nunchucks.
Right.
Jeez. This is like the Bruce Lee of pillow fighting. Man.
Look at those spins they're hitting him with, right?
I would love to see this in person. Look at that.
This was a real thing.
Neither did I until Gaffer brought it up. Do you reckon there's a weight restriction with the pillows? Like,
probably.
Are they going? They going like
a regulation, right?
Are they going a soft pillow, a medium pillow, a hard pillow? Because if they use my pillow, they're gonna probably knock someone out. I like the
rocks in yours. Yeah.
I like the super tough one. Let's go on to AGB.
No, let's watch more pillow fights. Okay, AGP this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, in South Korea. Here's the show, and also at AGP there's a Natural Pro show. Few guys in that. Very exciting. Love to see the AGP hosting another Natural Pro show. The natural division or league is growing, which is beautiful. But there's a few names on this list that we got to talk about. There's at least two. First one I'm going to bring up is the obvious one. Our boy Lee. Our boy Li Xiaolong. I think that's how you say it. Let me find this guy. Boom, straight out of China. I mean, just his profile picture. I don't know if that's AI or not. It looks damn good though. Here we go. Latest update 22 hours ago. This is my first place at the AGP. I don't know about you boys.
No doubt about it. This guy's gotten sharper. He competed a couple weeks ago, didn't he? At what was it? The show that Jushin won.
He got third.
Was that the Korean? Yeah, the Korean show. He looks good.
Hella good.
He's tightened up, especially the front shot. Like even his chest is so like bubbly, conditioned in the back. Yeah. Gaffer, what are you looking at? What do you think?
I like the detail in the back. That was perfect timing, by the way. The guys just like put the lawnmower down. It was loud as hell over here. His detail looks amazing in the back. I really like it. Given a little bit, an additional week or so to improve that conditioning is gonna do him just so much justice. Absolutely have him in first place. You're talking about a guy who I think he was in Classic before also. So men's physique look for sure, streamlined his look, beautiful posing, always comes with it, always brings it. And, clearly an Olympian, clearly going to be an Olympian, winning this show, coming in third. I think he's got another show that he's doing. He comes in, he'll probably place top 3 there and probably have enough points to punch his ticket into the O if he doesn't win it.
Guy looks good. Another guy from China, boys. Another guy from China bringing the absolute heat. Li Xiaolong. What a fun physique. He has a lot of fun on stage. We love it. There's another guy on this list that we got to talk about. It's Felix. Let me see if I can find him. F-E. I know it's a different username.
It's Felixi or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
The third one?
Yes, here it is. Felix. Good job. Nice work. IFBB Pro Olympia bound 2025. So he qualified for the 2025 Olympia? Is that correct?
Did he?
He was in the 25.
It says IFBB Pro Olympia bound.
I think he messed that up. I think that's supposed to be 26. He's stuck in last year.
Aesthetics athlete. I didn't even know that. I love his bio. Shut up and train hard. Relax and enjoy the gains. I fucking love it. Latest update from Felix 11 hours ago. He says, I'm ready to go. Next show, the Asian Grand Prix. And man, he looks so freaky at times. When you talk about crazy genetics, posing looks a little better. Posing looks way better. From the last time we saw him posing, he must have been listening to y'all. He can still tuck that damn finger, but the posing, hold on, I'm going to go back to this, see the feet and everything. You guys talk about his posing.
Way better. Way better.
I'm going to let it play.
What was the show so he competed last at...
He did like the Japan Pro when Ben Quill
and Lee Jim
Bo
he came in third, right? Didn't he come in third?
He did good, third or fourth,
Pro?
yeah. He did pretty good.
But did he do another one afterwards? While you guys are watching this, I'm going to look it up.
It's better. It's not where it needs to be, but it's better.
Yeah, I want to see that back pose a little bit. Like he should be more erect, and I also think his conditioning is not as good as it needs to be right now. A couple of days out from a show, you look at those obliques. There are lines there, but it doesn't look like he is in the level of conditioning that I'd like to see top tier. And maybe I'm just a little too hard on guys or whatever, because you look at that's grainy for sure, but when I look at guys like just how the obliques sit, with Francisco or Banks or Ali, of course, and all that, you gotta see those lines. Bless you.
Do you think he's one of these athletes that just can't get super dry? There's some athletes that no matter how hard they diet and how hard they dig, they can get conditioned, but they just can't get dry. Do you reckon he could be one of those athletes who just can't get super peeled?
Could be. I mean, or it could just be in his journey right now. He's just not there from a conditioning perspective and just hasn't mastered it yet. So one of the two. It could just be a genetic thing, or you see sometimes darker athletes have really thick skin, and it's hard to get that skin to press right up against the muscle and really protrude out and show the definition like that. But even here, here he's not as like right there. Boom, that looks good. Like to see more lines though. I mean, if he had more lines, it's the difference between coming in third at a show like this and winning, Because if he showed up with this physique in the States, guys are going to beat this physique. A lot of guys are going to want to beat in this physique because of the conditioning by itself. Even with the freak factor that he has, you got a lot of guys with freak factors here in the States. So, you just got to bring it. You got to bring that conditioning in my humble opinion. What were you going to say, Phil?
Yeah, no, because you took the words out of my mouth. Because I know there's some athletes that just can't get super dried. And when I think about Felix, he would have been prepping for a long period of time. If he competed 3 or 4 weeks ago at that China Pro, I'm pretty sure he did a show even before that. Now, if I'm thinking about it, like if this guy started a prep 16 weeks ago, he's been dieting for at least 24 weeks. And I think in 24 weeks, that's enough time to get super dry and super peeled. In my eyes, I just feel like he's one of these athletes that can't get super dry.
Or he's cheating on his diet. One of the two. Or he's sneaking some cookies in late at night. I hope not.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But
sure.
One thing that I've got to really commend him for is that posing, because I think that was his downfall the last couple of shows that he did. His foot position, he just looked extremely uncomfortable, extremely awkward when he was hitting his poses. But like you can see here, like he seems like he's more in charge of this posing, whether it be, more time just really refining it and really showcasing his physique, because he looks a lot more fluent. Like you can even just tell by the tempo of his arm, where he's sticking it. He's not fidgeting. That was one thing that really stood out for me when I was watching him pose at the China Pro, as well as his physique updates. He was very jittery as he was transitioning and posing, as opposed to now where, number one, his foot position is a lot better, because from what I remember, his feet were almost how Paul Gustave used to have him. They were almost both facing the same direction. There it is there. Whereas now,
way better.
He's made his waist look even smaller just purely from the foot positioning alone. But less jittery from where he was. He hits him a lot better. That was actually one pose that he hit very awkwardly. I feel like now he's hit that sort of half Ventura step, whatever you want to call that, a lot better as well. So posing is a lot better.
Yeah, and again, he's got the parts, right, guys? Like he's got the parts, but how you present it is everything. Everyone can, you can look the best, but how you present, we say it all the time, day in and day out. Like if you don't present your physique, if you don't show your strengths and cover your weaknesses, you're going to get exposed, and you're going to clearly see why you're not at the top of the rankings and the top of the heap when you get your placing at any show. So you got to come, you got to bring it, posing, conditioning, and make sure you smile.
That's actually a really good point, Gaffer, because I remember, and that reel that Hart just brought up not long ago really reminded me of it, because one thing that we said about Felix was, even if you're transitioning, even though you're not in the middle, you've still got to be a professional athlete and hold your poses. As we saw in that part there, see, as I go back the other way, Hart, if you could. See that there? It was almost like he let go of his abs. He's just kind of standing there, kind of just casually doing his thing. If you want to be one of the best, you've got to show full presentation. You've got to show full professionalism whenever you're transitioning to the front, to the back, if you're on the side, whether you're in the middle. So I know Felix is another athlete that watches our show religiously. So make sure this weekend, stick your poses. When you're transitioning, be a full professional, hold your poses, don't let everything go loose. And all the best for the weekend.
Yeah, if I was Felix, after he shuts it down this season or after these shows, please don't touch arms. Literally, his delts, his biceps, his triceps, and forearms are typically the best on stage every single time. I mean, his arms and delts smoke these guys. Look at Ben Quill's arms and delts, and look at Felix's arms and delts. It's not even close.
Beautiful.
It's chest game, and his actually abs are pretty nice when he comes in better and he squeezes down and hits it decently like he is here. His abs are actually pretty nice. Like I like the flow of his abs and his obliques. Back and chest. Don't touch the arms literally for the rest of the year. I'm telling you, judges want balance more than anything. Don't touch the arms because they're going to grow when you do chest. They're going to grow when you do back. Just build the chest, build the back, build the calves. Quads are decent. I mean, if you really look at the quads, his quads are bigger than all the guys here. It's just the calf game. A lot of black guys struggle with the calves, but other than that, he'll probably place top 2 this weekend, right behind Xiaolong Li, who I think is just a little too complete compared to Felix.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's our shows. I mean, we have the Asian Grand Prix. We have the natural show. Be on the lookout for that. Luke over there at the Natty Men's Physique Pod, he's going to cover that. And then the Miami Pro, which we talked about. There's Phil and Sally. If you haven't seen this reel, go check it out. And by the way, Aleem, we got word we may be commentating the show live in person next year.
That's right. Yeah, we're talking now with Giovanni about this. Boys, wouldn't that be amazing to be in Miami? The three of us doing the Miami Pro, such a big expo, and really put the shine on that, put the light on that show. Not that it needs it, but I mean, imagine us also combined. That's a phenomenal opportunity, and the fans, I think, would love it. So would the athletes.
I've heard some really nice things about Miami as well. Wouldn't mind seeing some of the palm trees, the purple Miami Vice vibes. A couple of pool parties afterwards. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
But, I'm looking forward to it.
Now you're talking my language.
Right? Miami's a
Phil,
vibe.
me and you were going for different reasons. me and Aleem were going for the same reasons.
I don't even want to know. Maybe we'll talk about it after.
Boys, if you haven't played Physique League this week yet, go clock in. Already have a bunch of comments. A lot of people are leaving them. As for next year, something special is in the works. I'm not going to show too much, or not next year, next week. Be on the lookout for your name on the official leaderboard of the season of the last 8-9 weeks that we've played. And as Physique League says, next year, season 2, September launch, October launch, we're going to play for some real money. This is the first skill-based prediction contest for bodybuilding fans. Pick the top 3 in order. Other than that was your show predictions for this weekend, the Asian Grand Prix and the Miami Pro. Let us know who you got.
Just before we go on to the official closeout, guys, just one more thing about Physique League. There is prizes on the line this week. Metabolic prize pack on the line. If you are the first person to correctly guess who's coming first, second, and third in that correct order, you will score yourself some of the best health supplements in the game. Whilst we're also there, if you haven't already, if you want to be a part of season 2, there's a wait list. You'll be notified as soon as it all goes live. So put your email on the official page. We'll drop the link either down below and also on our Instagram pages too. If you've made it to the end of the episode though, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The horde continues to grow day in, day out, week out, and we couldn't do this without your support. So make sure to smash the subscribe button. Also tap the bell icon so you're one of the first to be notified every single time an episode and an interview goes live. Make sure to like and drop a comment on this episode as well. Really helps with the algorithm. And last but not least, make sure to take that screenshot. We see so many of you guys taking the screenshots. We upload that to our stories as well. And in order for you to do so, scan the QR code, upload it to your story, tag the Men's Physique Show official, Hart McGrath, Aleem Bolton, and Philip Nassali, and we'll reshare that to our story so we are able to promote the show to the broader bodybuilding audience. And last but not least, a special thank you to all the guys helping us partner to help. I did it again, Gaffer. Helping partner the show. First thing I need to mention is Manifest Board Shorts. Hart, share that screen again. Manifest has a massive drop happening. The heroes and villains drop is almost live, I'm pretty sure. Some of the dopest board shorts. I don't know if you guys saw the number one, the promo video that Alex and Dorian dropped only days ago, but also they dropped a pair of the new board shorts. What's it called? The Vibranium.
Those look so fire.
They're giving me Black Panther vibes. They look sick. So when that goes live, make sure to score yourself a pair of those. The MP Show discount code for all Manifest board shorts. But as you can see right there, they are giving away a pair of the Vibraniums. All the information for that is on the Instagram Manifest board shorts, or the Manifest competition wear Instagram page, I should say. So make sure to enter that if you want a chance to win those board shorts right there. Next, Metabolics, some of the best health supplements in the game. Gaffer briefly spoke about it earlier in today's episode, the heart and kidney, as well as the liver support. I actually had a client who's running them. I got his bloods back today while I'm over here in Italy, some of the cleanest bloods that I have ever seen. So if that is anything to go by and you want to look after your health and you want to be in this sport for a long time, make sure to score yourself a duo pack of those. Next, Physique Fitness Physique, huge supplements, and Dr. Campbell over there at the Center of Wellness and Pain Care. Discount codes and links are in the description below. But guys, depending on what time you watch this, have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.